Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Tesla Prince, and today I'm going to talk about drones. So I've played with the drone for the last, I'd say, year and a half, and that was a DJI Mavic 2 Pro, and I no longer have that drone. So here's what I picked up just in the past few weeks, and this is a deal that DJI has put on, the DJI Air 2S and the Fly More combo with the RC Pro remote controller. You can see here the price, and you get $750 American off of this this remote controller. And this is not the smart controller. This is their newest controller. They've released just at the end of 2021 when they came out with the Mavic 3 Pro. And so it's actually quite a bit better. I've had the smart controller with the Mavic 2 Pro, and now I have the Air 2S with this RC controller, and it's definitely much more stable. The flight is a lot more smooth, and it's a more powerful device. So anyways, just wanted to mention this great price, but that's not what today's video is about. What we're going to do is talk a little bit about active track. And active track is a feature that a number of the DJI Mavic drones offer, but the Air 2S does a really good job, and probably the Air 3, or sorry, the Mavic 3 probably does even better, but there's lots of controversy over that in terms of where the firmware is at. But here's the Air 2S, and what I'm going to do is I did a snowshoe today. I'm just going to push play here, maximize the screen, and this is my first attempt at doing active track. So here I was in the forest with my dog, getting it all set up, and I'll just fast forward a bit here. So I set it up to do active track, and I wanted to push the limit. So you can see a number of things going on here in the video. There's like branches, twigs, trees everywhere. A couple things to consider here is it's really important where you set up the height. You have to know your terrain. So here I am running just to see how well does it track, can it keep up, and it actually, that's not an issue at all. It's really all about these trees, and you're going to see a lot of things here in terms of these trees. But so one thing I should mention with the Air 2S, it has sensors in every direction except sideways. So you're going to see at the end of this video, actually I do crash, and unfortunately I broke one of my propellers, but the drone itself is fine. Coming up here, you're going to see a little bit of a hit in the twig there, so it didn't, I don't know why it didn't detect that. Fairly big branch, and it just bounced right into it, didn't break at this point. And so again, this is my first time, and I'm just playing around with it here. So it does a really good job, generally speaking. I mean, hitting that branch, that did surprise me, but you're going to see I really push the limits. I get into some forested area where it's pretty narrow. I not hide, but walking behind trees, and the drone does lose me a few times and then picks me up again. But this active track feature is pretty cool. The technology works quite well. So I could see myself using this for a lot of really beautiful hikes around BC. And I guess with my Tesla, and we'll do a few cool things coming in the future. So at this point, yeah, my dog found some moose off on the side over there. So of course I didn't want to interrupt the wildlife, so I just grabbed a stick and had her stick around with me, and she did listen. So I'm just going to fast forward a bit here more as we move along. But you can see here with all the trees and stuff, I mean, this is more of an open area, so it does keep up quite well. And as we move along, it doesn't matter if, and then at this point I brought it down lower, sort of to my height, because generally speaking, this trail that I walk on, I tried to clear all the branches so that I don't have to keep hitting into them. So I figured if I had the drone at around maybe a little bit higher than me, with the obstacle avoidance. It wouldn't have to go to side, just up and down. And so I'm really pushing it here, and you can see like these branches coming up. Does a really good job popping down underneath that. And doesn't matter if I move fast or slow, it keeps coming. It does seem to go up and down as needed. And I'll keep jumping until this point coming up where it gets pretty interesting, because I turn off the side trail where it starts getting really bushy, or let's just say a lot of trees that are narrow, close together, and a lot of twigs. But you can see here, even going under this tree, watch this. It does a really good job. And those branches were smaller than the other tree that it did bang into. So, you know, you have to be careful. Active track doesn't always work 100%. But generally speaking, I was really impressed with my first hike in here. And this is where it gets pretty hairy. We're going to get pretty close here to where we have the crash, just a few more minutes. But I want to play all of this. I don't want to fast forward at this point, because you're going to see some pretty interesting maneuvering. So like, what does it do here? You know, it sees the green, it pops down. It kept me in sight. Twigs there, it's just getting narrow. And coming up here, you're going to see me disappear behind some trees. It does get confused for a bit. And I did notice on my controller, I kept looking, and I noticed that it did lose me. So I kind of stepped out again. So not quite yet. Still, it's following me. And when it does lose you for a while, it seems to really go fast to try to catch up. Like, it starts to panic almost. And I think that's what led to my crash. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think it was. But look at this. I mean, a lot of trees here. There I am behind the tree for a while. It doesn't know where I am. It sees these obstacles, so I pop out to the side there, finds me, and really zips fast here. Like, you know, I don't know why it doesn't try to go at somewhat of a steady pace, but anyways, look at these trees, look at these twigs. It seems to be really doing a great job. We are coming pretty close to the section where it does crash, and you're going to see what happens. Again, it does lose me, and when it tries to catch where I am again, it just kind of freaks out, hits a twig, and goes nuts. So here it goes underneath, freaking out to catch up, and getting pretty close here. I think it might lose me behind a tree here. Yeah, so kind of freaks out, comes down underneath here, and right on the right hand side, you're going to see it hits some twigs on the tree here, and then just from there it bangs into another tree and loses it. So it's trying to catch up with me. There we go. It's going really fast, and then boom, hits that twig, bumps into that tree, and I broke a propeller. And that was the end of that. But generally speaking, really impressed with the Air 2S, with the capabilities it has. I'll probably make some other videos in the future showing the master shots. I don't want to do just another master shots video that everyone else has done, so I'll try to make it interesting with some of the scenery around the area that I live. But a really good drone at a really great price. I believe the Mavic 3 is like, in Canadian dollars, and if you want to get the remote, it's probably like $4,000 to $5,000. So this is less than half the price. And you get a really good drone with a really good 1-inch sensor. The only thing that this drone is lacking, again, no side sensors, but it does have up, forward, has back, and underneath. So you're going to see a lot of great footage going forward, both with my Tesla and also hiking and whatnot. So we'll get into the nerdy stuff of this down the road. Hope you like this video. Let me know what kind of videos you guys would like to see, and I'll see what I can do to facilitate that.